this isn't always a bad thing. Let me explain. I've done a lot of YouTube videos. I'm not sure if I've ever necessarily talked about this point. I'm pretty sure it's come up in the podcast that I have. But as far as YouTube videos, I don't think so. I got a comment on another YouTube video and one of my live trades where the person, I don't know if it was an insult or trying to be an insult or maybe just an observation, but their observation got me thinking well, yeah, everything you're talking about to an extent is true, especially where they just made the comment about hope. Now, the way they threw out hope is in the way that I would agree with them, that it's the type of hope that you don't want in your trading. It's what you don't want in your investing. So there are, hope is a word that can very easily get thrown around out there and then get thrown around in, faulty ways that aren't exactly how they should be. And I've talked about this definitely in past videos, but the tricky part about trading is that context matters, even when it comes to, the English language, meaning, yeah, you throw out a word, but what exactly is the definition? How are you defining that word? And that makes a huge difference as far as making sure that you're either getting on the right track to trading or maybe that you're staying on the right track to trading. And hope is a great example of that. So you have the one type of hope out there, and we'll kind of look at this as just a bunch of question marks, meaning, yeah, I got in, and I'm not saying it's totally just where you throw a dart, close your eyes, and okay, I'm not saying that, but you read something. I read a headline. Somebody told, the tip. Maybe your neighbor gave you a tip, maybe you got a tip off social media. Anyways, but the point is, it's not a total dart throw randomness, but it's also very high level. It's very kind of superficial in the sense of, we'll call it shallow. It's just not very in depth. So you're not really sure, and that's where mainly the hope is coming from. And the reason you're not really sure is because, now whether you admit this to yourself, that's a whole nother ballgame, that's a whole nother video. But the reason that you're probably kind of like, I hope it goes up is because there just wasn't much into it. It was a very shallow premise. It was a very shallow strategy. And that's the type of hope where if you've ever seen the saying, and I've probably said it before, buying hope is not a strategy. Meaning I'm buying and then I'm hoping that the price goes up. Well, yeah, that's not what you want. That's more so gambling than anything else. It's a very superficial way. It's a very shallow way of approaching the markets. And unfortunately, now despite what I get it, a lot of people market things in a way that implies that, hey, all you need is shallow. All you need is a shallow reason, a shallow understanding of the market, and then you pay me for my hot stock picks or my whatever you want to call it, and I'll take care of the rest. I get it. That's a great marketing pitch. I mean, to tell people that, yeah, you just need a shallow understanding. You need a very basic understanding, and I'll do the rest. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And when you have that mentality and you're holding on to something, that's the hope, not so good. But then this comment, like I said, came up, and you'll see kind of where, well, yes, I am hoping. That was absolutely painful to watch. You're buying and loading up on what is a downtrend and hoping for it to reverse. The next type of hope here is what I am doing. Again, this person was definitely taking things out of context. They apparently think they understand my entire strategy by watching a live trade video. Welcome to the club. They're not the first person, but I promise you, and anybody that's part of my courses and such, they know there's a whole lot more that goes into it than what I reveal and then what I talk about on the live trade videos. Now, yes, I do have this as a part of my strategy too. I mean, of course, but we all do. This person too, if they get into a position, they're hoping that something occurs. Now, this is where the something occurs is different. For me, I am hoping that my strategy, my system, plays out like it should, plays out like it does a whole lot of times, where you get a winning trade. So yes, I am hoping, but do you notice a difference here? So let's between these two. One is hoping in a very shallow approach, a very superficial approach, and one is hoping in a system, a strategy that is a true system and strategy. Now, getting to a true system and strategy, that's definitely a whole nother video, and that's definitely, that's the point of investing into your education and learning and what makes trading the challenge. But once you have that, well then yeah, of course there's still hope that comes with it. So yes, I was hoping. Now, like I said, this person is implying what they call a downtrend. Remember what I said about words matter? I would argue no, it's actually not a downtrend. But like I said, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. The point here is that just because somebody may say that they have hope, well, you got to understand there's context behind hope. There's more that goes into it, and you got to figure out what's kind of residing behind that hope. So the type of hope that's perfectly fine is the one where you got that strategy, you got a system. And it's perfectly okay. Just the way the English language works is you have to hope that your strategy and system is going to work out. So don't, let those things kind of confuse you. Just because somebody says hope doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. But that's why you should probably press. I hope it goes up. Okay, that's fine. Well, what was the reason that you got in? Why would you think that something would go up? And if they're just offering you very shallow reasonings, that's probably a sign that they're just gambling. They don't really know what they're doing. And that's some very shaky territory. But if somebody can be like, oh, well, because of this, that, I noticed that, and like I could do. And again, I'm not going to do that for free. I guess I'm just not that nice. But for the people that have paid for my courses, they know that my hope is well documented. It's well thought out on why I would be hopeful in certain situations. So keep that in mind. But an interesting concept is, you can trade with hope, but you got to go that layer down. What is behind the hope? And that's going to make a huge difference. If you are out there trading alone currently and maybe are in the market looking for a community to join to assist you in your trading or to just help you, give you another set of eyeballs, then I do have a private trading community where you can trade alongside me and other experienced traders. So what you see popping up on the screen right now is both an information link. So if you click on the inner circle one, that is going to take you to the page where I explain all the details of what exactly come with the community, both the chat room and the newsletter. And then the other image that has popped up is a behind the scenes tour where you can see exactly what is going to be contained within the community. I take you through, like I said, a behind the scenes tour of everything, and that way you'll know precisely what you are getting when you join. So definitely check that stuff out if you are interested and thinking about wanting to join a community, and let me know if you have any questions.